Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of Fox Country. On today's programme, I'll be talking to Brendan German from County Cavan. But before that, let's have a look at a video from McGrady called The Old Achill Line.
Old tracks and ghost trains rolling back home again by the side of the old Achill line. There's no smoke, there's no rails, just the wild daffodils by the side of the old Achill line. On the platform in Westport, in the steam and the rain, expectations can't wait to see Shandrum again. All aboard, said the guard, as he slammed on the doors for Newport, Mulroney, the sound and the show. Old tracks and ghost trains rolling back home again by the side of the old Achill line. There's no smoke, there's no rails, just the wild daffodils by the side of the old Achill line. Across the bogs and the plains and the Nathan Peg Range, through Newport's black tunnel, she whistled her name. And bursting from darkness, just up by the arches, at the station, all waiting for the engine to slow. Old tracks and ghost trains rolling back home again by the side of the old Achill line. There's no smoke, there's no rails, just the wild daffodils by the side of the old Achill line. Old tracks and ghost trains rolling back home again by the side of the old Achill line. There's no smoke, there's no rails, just the wild daffodils by the side of the old Achill line. Old tracks and ghost trains rolling back home again by the side of the old Achill line. There's no smoke, there's no rails, just the wild daffodils by the side of the old Achill line. By the side of the old Achill line.
Brendan, you're very welcome to Fox Country.
It's great to be
Good
here,
to have you
Michael.
with us
Thank
today.
you. Pleasure.
Now, tell us something about your musical background. What brought you into the country music scene?
Well, I was a late starter into the music scene, never mind the country music scene. I was in a talent competition in Cavan called Cavan's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Now, I had been playing the guitar maybe 10 years before that, but only toying around with it, picking it up and putting it down and not doing anything about it. I always could sing a bit, but I think going on that show, which I was a runner-up on, gave me the kick up the backside that I needed to get out and start playing music.
Did you feel, having gone in for the contest, there's something in this for me? I could.
Well, not really. When I went into it, it was just. It was one of them things. Somebody actually betted me that I wouldn't go into it, or kind of dared me to go into it. You know.
Yeah.
So I said I'd go into it, and the ball started rolling.
Yes. Up to then, what would have been your musical tastes and musical influences? What sort of music were
I'm
you
going to be
listening
totally
to?
honest with you, it wouldn't have been country at all. I would have liked Garth Brooks a bit, but I would have been more into the Pearl Jam sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The Eagles, Middle of the road kind of stuff.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went in for the talent contest,
Mhm.
and how did you do in that?
I was a runner-up.
Well, that was very encouraging,
Mhm.
wasn't it?
It was great.
Yeah, and was there a prize for that?
There was a small cash prize for it, but it was
Yes,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice to get that far.
yeah. So having had that success, and on the night probably having had a good response from the audience as
Mhm.
well, you were encouraged to go the country route.
Well, not so much to go the
Mm.
country route. When I started gigging, it would have been middle of the road. And
Yeah.
a friend of mine, I'll give you his name. His name's Matthew Keeney from
Mm.
Cavan. He was very good. He pointed me in the right direction, so to speak. He was playing a lot of the Irish country music himself,
Mm.
and I was, to be honest with you, I was saying, why are you playing that stuff? And he said to me, you watch in a couple of years' time why I'm playing that stuff. He says,
He was
it's come
very
back, it's really
perceptive,
come.
wasn't he?
He was spot on,
Mm.
and I have to hold my hands up and say that he was 100% right.
So did you come onto the what I'd call the pub scene, or did you go into the dancing scene? Or
No,
was it a mix of both?
I came onto the pub scene first.
Yeah. And how did you find that, having made the change from
It's-
what you were doing?
Well, different, I suppose. Like
Mm.
with the pub scene, like you can go into a pub and you're playing, you're just in the background. Some places there's a lot of people listening to you. Others,
Mm.
you're only just there for a bit of background music. You know,
Yes.
they're not taking any notice of you.
So, what sort of music program would you have in the pubs then? What would be a typical gig for you?
Well, I play in the Cavan Crystal Hotel there. It's like it's lounge music for wedding guests as they're arriving every
Mm.
Friday and Saturday afternoon,
Right.
and it mostly would be country and maybe a bit of middle of the road, the Eagles, that
Mm.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
But mostly country, and it's mostly country that people want to hear now. So 90% of my pub gigs even would be country music,
Yeah.
and I do play in the Ardbine in Navan maybe once a month before the
Mm.
big bands come on, like Lisa McHugh
Yeah.
or
So you've got your residencies as
Yeah.
well as the ad hoc
Yeah.
bookings.
Yeah.
And you've become comfortable with playing country
Yeah.
music then, not having
Definitely.
set out as a country
I've become a big
musician.
fan of country music too.
Yeah.
Um,
Who would be your influences now? Who would you listen to? Who would you try to
American-
emulate?
well, I really like Alan Jackson.
Yeah.
Um, Merle Haggard I think is fantastic. I love
Mm.
his songs. There's great stories
Yeah.
to them.
That's right.
And on the Irish scene, probably Jimmy Buckley,
Mm.
and I really like Derek Ryan. I like
Yeah.
Derek's very clever,
Very talented
Yeah.
singer-songwriter.
very clever.
Yeah. And you're doing pubs, you're doing weddings, you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And have you got into the social dancing
I'm
scene?
getting into the social dance scene.
That's
at the
become very
minute, yeah.
popular now.
Yes, it is, and it's actually a good scene for anyone
Mm.
who plays music, because you could be out 5 to 7 nights a week if you really wanted
Absolutely,
it. The
yeah.
work is there if you're willing to travel for it.
And you're quite happy travelling a distance.
Yeah.
And obviously with pubs you get a certain type of response. With the dancing you get another type of
Completely
response.
different. Yeah.
And you get a great buzz when you've got a floor full of people.
When you get the floor
Yeah.
full of people,
Yeah.
and you can keep them on the floor,
Mm.
you walk away at the end of the night happy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you find the same people coming back to your gigs, and you're actually building up friendships and building up a rapport?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, now, as I said, in the Ardbine there on a Monday night, you have the same crowd, I'd say, every Monday. But when I started doing that, I was kind of blind to it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I knew from being there at the dances myself, you had to do 3 quick steps, 3 jives,
3 of one, 3 of the other.
foxtrots,
Yeah.
an odd slow waltz.
Yes.
And how I got in to that particular gig, the guy that runs the dance, Pádraig Walsh, he knows me and he knows a bit of a music
Mm.
background. He asked me, he was stuck one week for somebody to fill that void before
The
the
support
big band
yeah,
came on.
Yeah.
So I said I'd do it without thinking about it. So I had to learn a lot in that week.
Mm.
Like I had enough quick steps and maybe enough foxtrots, but I was very slow on waltzes.
You need your waltzes.
I needed to
Yeah.
learn a lot of waltzes in that
Yeah.
week, which was a great thing too, because it put me under the pressure
Mhm.
to learn them,
Yeah.
and now I have them.
Mm.
So
And what instruments do you play?
I play the guitar.
Guitar,
Yeah.
right. Well, so far you've made 3 recordings.
I've made 3 recordings. I have one of them out at the minute. It's called A Little Too Late. It's a cover of an American country star called Mark Chestnut,
Yeah.
who I think is
Fine
fantastic.
singer, yeah.
Everything I've heard from him is very good.
Mm.
I haven't heard him sing a bad song yet, and I like the story. Again, I like the stories to his songs, which there's stories to most country songs anyway. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And that was your first
Yeah.
release.
And it went pretty well for me.
Yeah, since that, you've released 2 more. What
I've
was
released
it?
2 more.
Would you like to tell us about those?
One of them is a foxtrot by Alan Jackson called There Goes.
Yeah, good song.
It's a nice song. And the other is a song called Good to Be Back Home, and it's written by an Irish guy called Davy Fury. Now, not Davy Fury from The Arters,
No.
it's another Davy Fury.
Yeah,
And it's a very upbeat tempo kind of song. It puts you in mind of the kind of stuff that Mike Denver does.
Mhm.
So that'll be out pretty soon. So
Right. So, are you progressing towards an album? Is that the
I am.
plan?
Hopefully at the end of the year I'm going to have an album.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully.
And you're also making some videos.
Yeah.
You have one
Yeah.
video,
One
which
video at the
we'll have a
moment, yeah.
word about in a moment. Now, having got into singing and gigging, and you're performing and indeed recording material of other artists, have you thought about songwriting yourself? Have you had any inspiration in that regard?
I have, to be honest with you, it's something that I'm not very good at.
Mm.
I put pen to paper, and most of the times nothing comes out, or what comes out is total garbage.
Mm.
But I'm trying. It's not something that some people it comes to them naturally. Others
So
have
it's
great
not
difficulty.
flowing at the
No,
moment.
it's not flowing from me,
Yeah.
anyways.
Mm.
But I have a lot of friends that write songs, and
Mm.
I'm always looking through their stuff and
Yes.
trying if there's something there that'll jump out at me that I like.
Yeah.
I'll tend to go for it and try and.
If there's a theme that presents itself,
Yeah.
yeah. So are you full time on the music now?
Yeah,
Is it-
full
you
time
are?
musician. Yeah.
So there's plenty work around.
There's work around for musicians if you're willing to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the furthest you would go then for a gig
I-
from Cavan?
It doesn't matter
Mm.
to me. I could get into the
Mm.
van and I'd drive to Cork if I had to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's a day's work,
Mm.
whether it be 5 hours, 10 hours.
Yes. So you're playing at the moment as, and I always think it's a terrible description, the one-man band.
The one-man band.
Well, there doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be a better
No.
term for that at the
Yeah,
moment. You
yeah.
have one-man entertainer.
Yeah.
But you mentioned there a few moments ago you'd like to progress and maybe put your own band
Yes.
on the road.
Absolutely. I'd love to put
Have
me
you
on.
have you sort of done any investigations in that regard to see?
I'm looking into
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
It's ongoing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot. A lot of people think that it's something that you can just do. You can put a band together and go on the road, but there's a lot of overheads.
Mm.
It doesn't just work like that. It doesn't fall out of the sky.
That's right.
And you have to have the crowd there. You have to be
Mm.
known.
Yeah.
And I'm a small fish in a big pond at the minute.
At the moment.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So yeah, it takes a lot to put your team together,
Yeah.
not just the guys
Yeah.
on stage with you,
Mhm.
or the gals.
oh yeah.
But you've got to have your road crew as well,
Mhm.
and your sound guy, and
It all costs money.
maybe somebody doing some promotion for you
Yes.
as well. But that's an avenue you.
Oh,
you'd like
that's
to,
what I'm aiming
go down.
for, and I hope to get there.
Yeah. Well, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? There's been a huge renaissance in country music
Mhm.
and country dance in
Yeah.
Ireland, and a lot of new younger people are coming in,
Mhm.
and it's the whole thing has taken off,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So so you're travelling and you're picking up gigs all
Mhm.
the time. So is it still a mix of pubs, hotels, social dancing?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I find I have released that song A Little Too Late.
Yeah.
It's my bookings have. I'm turning them away,
Yeah.
so to speak,
Yes.
which is a good thing.
Yeah.
It has gone. I think it's gone pretty well for me. It's getting a lot of airplay on Shannon's side. It's a great show on a Saturday morning there. You have Country Roundup with Joe Finnegan.
Yes.
He gives it a lot of play for me.
Yeah.
And another guy called Junior Walker that gives it
He's
a lot
on
of
most
airplay.
evenings, yeah.
In the evenings. He's very funny to listen to also.
Yeah.
LMFM are playing it for me now. Yourselves, Irish Country Music
We are
Radio,
indeed,
and
yes.
Elite Country Radio.
Yes.
And I think online radio stations are a great way of getting your music out there, because 9 times out of 10 you send your stuff on to a lot of DJs, they won't play it, but the online radio stations tend to play it a lot more often for you. and
Yeah,
it's-
because they're stations that are operating in a niche
Yeah, yeah.
in the country and Irish world, if I can put it that way. And a station like Irish Country Music Radio, for example, my own station, that goes 24 hours a day. So there's plenty of time there to play the artist quite regularly, and we do. And that station's philosophy is to give good opportunities to the newer people coming into the business and the rising stars. And it works, we find. Yeah. But online radio is going very well.
It's going very well, and it's great now with technology that's out there. Your smartphones and your tablets.
Yeah,
There's always an app you can download. You can listen to anywhere.
that's
You
right.
go on holidays, you can take it with you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and the world is a smaller place
Yeah.
now when it comes to choosing the entertainment that you want
Absolutely.
to listen to. And well, Brendan, we've talked about your recording of your singles to date, and you've also filmed a video. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yes, it's that song A Little Too Late. It's a pretty good video. There's a good story to it. It's not your typical somebody standing by the lake singing a song, or
Yeah.
there's a story to it.
And do you act out the story in it?
Well, I have I have an actor and an actress in it acting
Right.
out the story. I'm in the background an odd time,
Mm.
but it's funny. It's basically the girl has had enough of this guy's play acting around, and
Yeah.
she kind of leaves under his nose without him knowing, so to speak.
Right.
But the video tells the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a little too
Yeah.
late.
Yeah.
Well, would you like to introduce the video to our viewers?
Yeah, this is my debut single, folks, and it's a video shot by a guy in Cavan called Dave Grant, and it's called A Little Too Late.
Okay, let's have a look at it. Well, Brendan, that was, I have to say, I enjoyed that video, and as you said, there is a story to it.
Yeah.
And would you like to make more videos?
I'm in the process of making a couple of videos at the minute. As I said, I'd recorded another 2 singles. I do my recording with a guy in Kells called Jam Studios. But I like to, when I'm recording, I like to get people like Charlie Arkins featuring on fiddle on A Little Too
Of
Late.
course, the maestro.
Yeah. And I have Martin Cleary playing steel on There Goes, which is out now at the minute. So
Yes, very good.
it's nice to get them guys to play on it.
That's right. And of course, these days, there's an expectancy now. Once you record a single for radio, you have to do the video as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and get that out to the country channels, the TV channels.
Oh yeah, and it's good. It's great publicity,
Mm.
and you never know where it's going to go. So all you can do is
Absolutely.
try.
That's right, and the only way is up.
Yes, hopefully.
Well, Brendan, I'm delighted that you could take time out and come to see us
That was a pleasure.
today on
Yeah.
Fox Country, and I have to say I've enjoyed our
I
discussion
enjoyed it too.
today, and can we wish you all the very best on behalf of our viewers and myself in your future music career, and we look forward to maybe seeing you one day on the road with the full band.
Please God. Thanks very much, Michael. It was great to be here.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brendan.
No problem.
And my thanks again to Brendan for joining me on today's show, and to you for watching. Now, to finish today's show, let's have a look at Brendan's brand new video, It's Good to Be Back Home. And don't forget to check out Brendan's videos online. And he's certainly an artist to watch out for in the future. Well, we've had some marvellous artists on the series so far, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon. Until then, slán.
I've been away for far too long, out singing my song, meeting women and drinking wine, but I missed this land of mine. Good to be back home, good to be back home. I've been traveling a hard road, I'm looking for my goal. I'll tell you something, it's good to be back home. I've seen places that make you cry, I've swam in rivers that have now run dry. I've been stranded on roads of dirt, carrying only my bag of hurt. Good to be back home, good to be back home. I've been traveling a hard road, out looking for my goals. Tell you something, it's good to be back home. Spent some time looking back, wasting my days, riding down the railroad track, trying to find my way. I've been beaten, I've been bruised, I've been battered and I've been used. I've been lost on city streets with the kind of folk you should never meet. It's good to be back home, good to be back home. I've been traveling a hard road, out looking for my goal. I tell you something, it's good to be back home, good to be back home, good to be back home. I've been traveling a hard road, out looking for my goal. I'll tell you something, it's good to be back home, it's good to be back home, good to be back home. I've been traveling